You might use short words, but you use a lot of them. And I'm even saying that.
Jordan, thank you for joining us.
Did you? Did you? Okay, I didn't know that. That was before I was born, bro. Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah, congrats.
Thank you, Bubba. And thank you, Jordan, for joining us. You're coming back to defend the title that you won 2 years ago, but just how different is an away Ryder Cup experience?
Very. Yeah, very different. I love 2014. I thought the most probably fun, nerve-wracking shot I've ever hit was the first tee shot in 2014. Actually, yeah, it's one of the coolest moments of my golf career was getting started there and playing an away game, but representing your country in the Ryder Cup. I mean, that's growing up as a golfer. That's an ultimate goal for us, and it hasn't disappointed. If anything, it's been underappreciated by players. Not underappreciated, but understated by players ahead of ahead of the tournament. So it lives up and past its hype.
Great, and you were here in July. Obviously, you saw the course. Obviously, looks a little bit different at the moment. So, what changes are out there on the golf course, and how's it shaping up?
Yeah, the rough. I mean, we were able to play out of the rough in July, and if you miss the fairway, you're likely not going to be able to hold the green. And with a lot of greens surrounded by water, you're actually having to really kind of almost lay up out of the rough. So, tee balls are key here.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jordan. We're going to open up to the floor, and we'll begin with number 3. If you could come around to the middle row here, please.
Jordan, you talk about that first tee shot at Glen Eagles. How far ahead of time do you start thinking about that shot?
Well, I don't think of it the same way anymore. I mean, that was the first one on away, and it happened to be away soil. The first tee shot at Hazeltine. How am I doing? First tee shot at Hazeltine felt different. It was a different experience. I'm sure this will be closer to that one, just knowing that we'll hear the Europe chants and the Ole Ole chants on the driving range at whenever we're teeing off an hour ahead of time. And this tee shot's as difficult a first tee shot as we've probably played the entire season. So that adds to it. But it won't be till kind of that morning that you'll be thinking of the first tee ball. And you got a partner with you this time. It's not foursomes. So, and it'll be really cold, so I could probably hit driver, which is a good thing. Bigger head, better.
Going to go to number 1 over here on the right.
Jordan, obviously you can't be held responsible for this given your age, but 25 years since the US won on this side of the Atlantic. I mean, you're a pretty clear and strong analyst. Can you come up with a reason, if there is just one reason, as to why that long gap and long wait might have happened?
I would put it simply that they won more holes, they made more putts. I mean, seriously, as far as our team's concerned, there's only a couple guys that have any kind of scar tissue on playing on away soil, and those guys have won a combined 120-something times and account for 20 majors. I mean, we're not worried about the two older guys on the team that have scar tissue. The rest of us are simply here because and looking at this week as an opportunity for us to show that the golfers from the United States can beat the golfers from Europe, and we can do it over here. That's the goal. I've won one and lost one, so whether it's here or there, the point is whoever makes more putts, whoever shoots lower scores typically wins these matches, and our team is extremely solid and have been playing very well. And so if we stay out of our own way and continue to play the way that our team's been playing, we believe that that'll be good enough and take care of itself. And no other thought is anywhere else.
Number 3, right hip.
I'm sorry? No, I don't think so. I'm speaking from my own point of view, but it's one of the more difficult golf courses that we'll play all year. So it'll play very different from Hazeltine, but and a bit different from Glen Eagles, but nothing that is totally unusual for us to see. And the crowds, you know, they're going to be very European, and anything that gets to you, you're in control of anyways. So again, goes back to we stay in our own lane, and we focus on the stuff that we keep talking about in the team room, and we're going to get out and put ourselves in a mental opportunity for the games to take care of the rest.
I'm going to go to number 3 in the front here.
Hey, Jordan. What do you recall about being a rookie and for your first time doing this in 14? And Europe has 5. You've got a couple, 3. Is that an advantage, disadvantage to have more rookies? And what do you remember about just the experience, and what advice do you have for the young guys or for the other guys?
I don't think it means much. I don't think that it's any kind of a disadvantage at all. If anything, it could be an advantage. Guys that are even more excited to get out and kind of see what it's like and you know, get that excited, be paired with somebody. You know, I don't know how much team golf with a partner that, you know, Bryson or Tony has played. I know obviously Justin with last year and some Walker Cups, and Bryson's done the same, but just having that guy next to you rooting for you and being in the team room, looking at these guys to your right and your left and understanding that they're on your side this week for a common goal. I think if anything, it can be advantageous to be a rookie. So I don't think there's any disadvantage at all. Again, these are guys that have either won majors or had chances to win at the highest level, or certainly have won at the highest level. I don't think a little extra noise cheering for the other side will tone down their ability to be able to perform. And therefore, I don't see, based on my experience from 2014 being paired with another rookie, it seemed to light a fire for us. Once we got out there and loved kind of the way that camaraderie worked out, we were able to roll.
We're going to go 2 at the very back.
Jordan, who's behind the business of the Bubba Glove? And can you just flesh out any other unusual requirements you guys have today?
I don't even know anything about it. He just was in the locker room and said, I think I'm going to wear my glove in media. Is there something else?
He said he was tall.
He was. He may have been. I don't know. Anything else unusual?
Yeah.
Not particularly.
You've been given special words to use in the press conferences.
I don't think so.
No? Maybe you're not on message.
My agent's not even in Europe, so I've got nobody in my ear.
Okay, we're going to go to
I had
number...
Zach Johnson in my ear. That's about it.
We're going to go to 4 in the middle, just in the back.
Jordan, you didn't want an extra week off, but you had it, and I'm wondering how you took advantage of that. Did you rest a little more? Were there certain things that you worked on or thought about leading up to this week?
Yeah, I took the in-between week off completely, and then I took the Tour Championship week to slowly kind of progress each day, do a little bit more, and I was progressing nicely through the playoffs. My game was in the best state that it had been in until BMW, and I kind of just ran out of gas there. I should have taken more breaks in the playoffs this year, and I went something like 26 to 28 days straight from before New York through that Saturday afternoon of BMW of at least 6-hour days on the course and gym, and I got real quick with the swing and just didn't play well at BMW, but I was able to get that rest, look back on the progression that was being made, and continue that going forward. So I think I don't wish that it happened, considering it's the end of the season. If it were the middle of the season, I would look at it as a blessing in disguise. But I certainly wish that I was there at East Lake, no question, and that, if anything, will make me not take that week for granted, and to work that much harder to never miss it again.
Mike 1, Karen.
Jordan, when it comes to facing that 6,000 plus crowd at the first tee here, how much, if at all, will it help having played the 16th hole at the Phoenix Open a few times? Is there any kind of correlation in getting comfortable with that environment?
I think there is, but just in the walk to the tee, because the 16th in Phoenix, you see that stadium the entire way. When we get on the tee box on the first hole here, you're almost in a little kind of U-shaped ditch that's been dug into that hill. And the grandstand's actually pretty far removed from the first tee. So certainly it'll be loud because of the amount of people there, but you won't see it at all. You'll see the first tee shot the same way you always see it. Versus Phoenix, if you went there right now versus when the tournament's there, it's a completely different golf hole. So there's only a small little grandstand, I think, off the left side of the first tee. And so compared to Glen Eagles and Hazeltine, I think it'll feel like more open space, to be honest.
Going to go to 2 over on the right-hand side.
Jordan, whether it was highlights or whether you watched it live, what did you make of the scene on Sunday with Tiger winning, and did it affect you emotionally at all?
I thought it was a matter of time, the way he's been playing. He's been playing at a level that can win any golf tournament for the majority of the summer. So he went to a place he's won a couple other times and really got his putter rolling. And you could see when he's starting to walk those putts inside 10 feet, that kind of like Tiger step that we all, I guess, naturally try and copy growing up. When you start seeing that, you understand that confidence is there on the greens, and that's all it was missing, was just that that week where he was top 3 or whatever in strokes gained putting. He's been chipping the ball really well, and his striking's been awesome. So the scene coming up the 18th was pretty amazing. I mean, having been in a, I guess, situation similar, and it wasn't anything like that when I was walking up the 18th hole. You see what you already knew, which is that he moves the needle, and you saw the reaction from not only golf fans anywhere, but also your average sports fan and your other athletes from and other media outlets. I mean, it's different. I was nervous for them when the fairway started to collapse around he and Rory, because you got guys on a Sunday afternoon, boozed up, when it's hot out, just running, wanting to. And now when you get the phones out and everything, it just seemed like a lot. I'm glad that they were able to sneak through everybody and get to that green, but it was a pretty incredible scene.
Okay, we're going to have 2 more questions. We're going to go number 4 at the back first.
Jordan, just to follow up on Tiger, I mean, he looks to be enjoying himself during the practice rounds out there. How much is he enjoying being part of this team? And although this is obviously a team event, how good is it for you guys to have him back at his best?
Yeah, I think even he would tell you he's not necessarily at his best he's ever been, but just back in form, good enough to win, which it's kind of scary that it's not even his best. Still winning golf tournaments, but it seems somewhat normal. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think everybody's been enjoying themselves a lot. It hasn't seemed any different from other rounds that we've played, but knowing that he's on your side when you tee it up, and he's hitting the ball as well as he is, and then the intimidation factor that he can bring to it is certainly, I would say, measurable off of not necessarily his team Ryder Cup experience, but when you look at players that have played in his group when he's playing well, when he's kind of, it's a different bottom line than his score. So you ought to think that, you get him in the right setting out here in a team atmosphere and playing well, that'll make a difference.
Okay, we're going to go Doug number 3 on the left.
Can winning an event as part of a team make it feel like a successful year for you as an individual?
Yeah, I think if I came out and played really solid golf this week, I would feel like I accomplished a lot this year. I'd feel like I went to places where I needed to build back up and learn a lot from my own game. And a Ryder Cup is a situation where you're playing almost every hole with the same feel as you get on a major championship Sunday in contention. And so to be able to put those to test, and if I can do so successfully, I'll feel like I've gained a lot out of it. And the years after I've played in Ryder Cups have been phenomenal years for me. And so I look at this week as very important going forward for next season.
Okay, we have time for 1 more. We'll finish on number 1.
Joe, we think of the last Ryder Cup, and the memories on Sunday are eagles and birdies and roars everywhere. you're playing this week at a place that's set up very difficult. As a competitor, does it seem odd at all to stage a Ryder Cup on a place with a tough setup?
Yeah, I don't think you'll go anywhere else where you see as many fist-pumped pars as you'll see this week. I think, especially in the afternoons in these foursomes when the wind picks up. We played it with windy yesterday, and it was, I mean, we were playing best ball, and there weren't that many birdies out there outside the par fives. It'll be, I don't think there will be as many roars. There will be you'll know who won holes when holes are won, but there were a lot of putts made at Hazeltine, which, from any range, 6 to 30 feet, that was really exciting. But this is a unique and exciting test in itself for us players. It may not be as exciting for the fans that are there watching. Obviously, if their side's winning, then they're going to be as excited. But you know what I mean, like the loud roars off of made putts. You just won't see that many birdie opportunities as we saw at Hazeltine. Just because if you miss the fairway, you're fighting for par.
Jordan, thank you very much. Have a great week.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, have a good one.